It can be really daunting and emotional to move on from a character that you've been playing for years with your best friends. And that's what I talked to Ashley Johnson about having to move on from Pike and now embracing Yasha on Critical Role's new set of characters. Now, we did this all at a stream event for D&D called the Stream of Many Eyes, which explains her more fantastical makeup during this interview. So we've never gotten to talk about your old character in Vox Machina. What was it like saying goodbye to her?
Oh man, it was hard. I mean, we had played just about 2 years in a home game, so I think for all of us, those characters in the first campaign, it meant a lot more to us because it's where we all started together, and it was hard to say goodbye because I think you never really think about that when you're creating a character, that, oh, at some point we're going to move on to something else. And I could have just continued playing Pike, and I think all of us could have just continued in those characters. And yeah, it was sad, but I'm really glad to sort of start anew with the characters that we have now, and I think it's made it better that we're all playing together still, so it doesn't feel like something completely new where it's uncomfortable, or you miss the old life that you had. I mean, but of course I have days where I definitely miss Pike, and it's hard to it's been hard to sort of make the transition because they are very different characters.
And did she have some aspects of your own personality?
Pike?
Yeah.
I would say so. I think when we started, because that was the first time that I'd ever played D&D, and of course I'd heard about it. My brother played it, and I knew about it, but I'd never played in a game before. So I think at first I didn't really know how much role play was involved with D&D. And maybe that was just our particular game. I know I've played in a bunch of different games now where that wasn't as involved, but in this particular game there was a lot of role play, and so I was thrown in with this amazing group of people that just throw themselves into their characters. And I think to start, I was just kind of playing me and figuring things out and figuring out what a cleric is. And so I think Pike was a lot of me to begin with. And then sort of once the friendship with Grog and Pike were established and sort of developing the character more over the years, she kind of became a little different than me. I'm sort of somewhere in the split between Pike and Yasha. So that's an interesting thing, because depending on the day, I'll be more caring, wanting to help people, and then other days I'm like, meh, they can figure it out. So it's been fun.
What were some of the challenges in making Yasha? Because now there's this kind of this pressure you probably didn't necessarily feel before.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be scrutinized, and also
Big time.
you have to spend some time with this character for a very long time.
Yeah, I definitely knew I wanted to play a barbarian. Just hands down, that was something I wanted to do, because most of the time, when I play any other games or video games, I like being in the fray. I like being a melee fighter. So I had joined the group in, I think, like the second game, and so the cleric, Matt was like, you could play a cleric, and I was like, all right, I don't know what that is, but I think initially I would have picked something different, and so I knew I wanted to play a barbarian, so I wanted to build the character around that. And of course there's pressure. It's in your home games or anything like that, like, you want it to be cool, and you want something that you're going to have fun playing, but we definitely have that element, which is a weird thing to think about, of you also want this to be enjoyable for other people. And that's all of us thinking more about backstory because it just makes it a little bit more interesting to watch for the viewers. And yeah, it's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of pressure that we didn't have in the first campaign because they were already established. And those first games of, playing as Yasha, I think I even talked to Travis about this. I think both of us were like, did we make the right decision? Like, is this, it's so scary but we just didn't know who they were yet. Mm-hmm. And jumping in the first campaign, we'd already had, just under 2 years of establishing these characters where we just knew them. Easy peasy, jump in, we know what to do in every situation. But this was just a whole new thing, which was great for the viewers to see that of like, hey, we don't have it all together. Not that we ever do. I was like, wait, we never have it together.
What keeps you playing D&D? I mean, obviously the show is really successful, but I kind of get the sense that you'd be doing this anyways.
Definitely.
And you all have very busy careers. You have to go to New York for your show.
Yeah.
What keeps you coming back?
I guess I've been playing D&D for, 5 years now, or maybe a little bit more than that. Can't remember all the exact dates, but I feel like, this sounds so cheesy, but I honestly feel like it's sort of filled a void where, you're getting to play with friends, you're role playing, and it's in a fantasy world, and I think it just made sense. And it also bummed me out that I hadn't played it sooner, that I finally was playing it and I was like, oh man, I wish I would have done this when I was younger, that I knew people that played this. And I tried playing with my brother, but he's like, no, you can't play in our group. I mean, he's 6 years older than I am, so he wasn't going to let me play with his friends. But yeah, I think I play in a home game in New York. I play in a home game with Brian. I play in a lot of different home games, and so it's kind of nice to also get the experience of a home game and then also have the streaming show. And I love it. It's almost like I play D&D every day, but now, but I still feel like I have so much to learn. And I think that's what keeps me coming back, is that it's a game that you are continually evolving in your character and learning how to play in that character, and it's just never ending in the best way.
I know that in entertainment you don't always get to choose your roles.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah,
you don't choose
definitely.
how you get cast, but you have such you've amassed a body of work at this point. You've got to be able to make some choices. What gets you excited creatively now?
In terms of D&D or just across
just
the
in
board?
general. What gets you most excited about like a role or a scene or a critical role or anything like that?
I think, if you're sort of in the entertainment industry or in anything like this, you have to be excited about just creating. And, specifically for actors, just creating a character and taking on the challenge of playing somebody different than yourself and pushing yourself to see how different you can be, and trying new voices, or for me, my favorite thing is like figuring out how a character walks and how they talk and what they wear, and I just love creating something new. And I think that's also why I really like D&D, is because, as an actor, a lot of the time, you don't get to decide the roles you play or what you say or the situations that you're in. And so it is kind of nice to feel a little bit more control in that. And I think, yeah, I think those are probably my favorite parts about being in this industry.
Thank you, Ashley Johnson, for being such an amazing interview and for taking the time to sit down and talk. I am Todd Kenrick, your host. Thank you all for watching.